This candidate forum is being conducted by the League of Women Voters, Jackson area. The League is a nonpartisan organization. We do not support any candidate or political party. The League encourages informed and active participation by citizens in all local, state, and national elections. This candidate forum will be added to the LWVJA website and the LWVVote411.org website. MLive will be notified when the forum is loaded on the websites. The address for the websites will be on the final slide after the forum. The League of Women Voters Jackson area will be circulating print copies of Vote 411 throughout Jackson County, including all Jackson District Library locations. National and state election information will be in the print edition. All local election information will be on the website. No part of this recorded forum may be used without the express written permission of the League of Women Voters Jackson area. No part of this forum may be used by the candidate or their staffs for any purpose other than directing their potential constituents to the aforementioned sites for viewing. Our moderator for this candidate forum is Mrs. Gwen Tabb.
Welcome to this 2022 League of Women Voters Jackson Area Candidate Forum. My name is Gwen Tabb. It is my honor to be the moderator for this forum. The candidates for the Jackson County Commission District 5 election are Mr. Nathanael Mulvihill and Mr. James Shotwell, and we thank you for your participation. Let me review the basics of the format for this candidate forum. Candidates are asked to speak only of themselves and their ideas with no disparaging comments or remarks regarding their opposing candidate or others. Time will be kept by a member of the League of Women Voters of the Jackson area. You will be alerted by a chime at 15 seconds remaining and at the end of 1 minute. You will be allowed to end your sentence and you're expected to stop at 1 minute. As the moderator, I will interrupt a candidate who exceeds the time limit. Each of you will have 1 minute for your opening and closing statements, as well as 1 minute to answer questions. The opening statement will start in alphabetical order and the closing statement will be in reverse. The order of the questions will also alternate. Should you need me to repeat a question, I will do so. This candidate forum will be recorded on the Zoom platform. Candidates are asked to manage muting and unmuting themselves as they answer and complete their questions. Question 1, Mr. Mulvihill. Please describe your background, including educational achievements, work history, and how long you've lived in Jackson County.
I didn't realize we were starting with questions. I thought we were starting with opening statements.
My mistake. Do your opening statement. I apologize.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to participate tonight. I am Nathanael Mulvihill, and I am running for Jackson County Commissioner of District 5. I am a proud Northwest Schools graduate, and as such, I am a strong supporter of public schools and public school teachers. In my 30-year career in entertainment lighting, I have traveled all over this great country of ours, but I always return to Jackson. Jackson is a great city and a great county with lots of potential. I plan to work together with Jackson City Council and the other townships to build a more collaborative Jackson County Commission and county. If elected, I will direct my time in office towards increasing business interest in Jackson, increasing diversity of thoughts and ideas, embracing science and evidence, equity and justice for all, increasing and easing pathways towards home ownership. And I am pro bodily autonomy and pro reproductive freedom.
Thank you. Mr. Shotwell, your opening statement, please.
My name is James Shotwell. I want to thank everyone for making this arrangement happen. I appreciate the League of Women Voters and have worked with them over the last 30 years to make sure elections are fair and concise in Jackson County. We have an opportunity here as a family to make Jackson a better place. Being a 8th generation Jacksonian, I believe that Jackson is a place to be, and that's why I own a business here, and that's why I look forward to working with my son, the 4th generation in that business in downtown Jackson. I've been involved in many cooperative projects, whether it's through the JCs and Kiwanis Club, the Men's Garden Club, and working with the different schools and the Boy Scouts, in making sure that an opportunity is presented to all of us to participate in Jackson completely, and I am a pro-life candidate.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your opening remarks. Now we'll do questions. Mr. Mulvihill, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Please describe your background, including educational achievements, work history, and how long you have lived in Jackson County.
I'm going to do those in reverse order. I've lived in Jackson County for most of my life, since 2nd grade. I am now 52 years old. I did move to Detroit for a couple of years, raising my children. I've moved back to Jackson now. Been living here again almost 10 years now. My background is mostly in entertainment lighting, in leading groups of people to accomplish large-scale events. My educational background is Northwest High and quite a bit of additional trade schooling specific to the industry, a lot of safety classes, things of that nature. And I think that, yeah, that's my background.
Thank you. Mr. Shotwell, please describe your background, including educational achievements, work history, and how long you've lived in Jackson County.
I'm a graduate of Lumen Christi High School and graduate of Jackson Community College. I attended Ferris State University and completed my certification from Ball State University in pedortheric management of the foot. I've been involved in volunteer projects in Jackson since I came back in 1981 and have made sure that the diversity of Jackson has been presented to as many people as possible, whether it's involving myself as chairman of the Art Fest in downtown Jackson, district chairman for Boy Scouts, where I received recognition for that hard work as a Silver Beaver recipient. I'm a current Eagle Scout, and my son is an Eagle Scout also, and I had the privilege of being the Scoutmaster for 5 other Eagles. I'm happy to be in Jackson, and I look forward to working with Jackson, whether it be the townships or the city, to complete as many tasks as possible for all of us to have a better place to live.
Thank you. Mr. Shotwell, why are you seeking a seat on the Jackson County Commission? If you are an incumbent, why are you seeking re-election?
I'm seeking re-election because there's many things I believe we need to complete. Number one, there are 5-year plans that are put in place that will be coming up in 23 and 24 that are going to have to be worked on. And I believe I bring a wealth of knowledge and history of those different projects, whether it be road work or it be the strategic plan for Jackson County, which I was chairman to implement here in Jackson County and to tie directly to the budget. I believe that we need to strongly endorse our law enforcement personnel and supply them with the best possible equipment so that they can do their job the best possible way. So that's the reason why I support the millage for the new sheriff's equipment. And I also support the enhancement of the 911 medical system. I also believe that Jackson County is a component unit of state government, and we have quite a bit to implement through the state government to help all of our townships work together.
Thank you. Mr. Mulvihill, why are you seeking a seat on the Jackson County Commission? And if you're an incumbent, why are you seeking re-election?
I am seeking a seat because when I moved back to Jackson County almost a decade ago, I started paying attention to Jackson City Council and really liked the direction things were going. And I liked a lot of things that were going on. And then I realized that as a Jackson County resident, I needed to pay more attention to Jackson County Commission. And as I started going to the meetings, I liked a lot of what I saw. And there were things that I thought were going on that I didn't think were representative of Jackson County, and thought that some new ideas were needed on the Jackson County Commission.
Mr. Mulvihill, county commission boards are responsible for the Jackson County budget. What experience do you bring to preparing and making decisions about the Jackson County budget?
Full disclosure, I have not worked a government appointed job, so I do not have experience with county budgets. I have been in a leadership role for a multi-million-dollar lighting company for the last 30 years. And we're now pushing a 50-year history for the company. And things, so in short, I cannot say, I will be leaning heavily on the people in place in the Jackson County government to help me direct Jackson County monies. So
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's
okay. Mr. Shotwell, county commission boards are responsible for the Jackson County budget. What experience do you bring to preparing and making decisions about the Jackson County budget?
Well, when I came back to Jackson, I joined my father in a private business, and I joined the Jackson JCs, where I learned budgeting and how to implement goals and spending and proper of monies. Then I was involved and asked to serve on the Education Trust Board for St. John's Parish Catholic Schools, and then involved directly as chairman of the Finance Council at St. John's under Father Jim Shaver. We put together a positive budget and maintained a positive budget in that position. And then as I served on the beginning of different volunteer committees, whether it's the Jackson Area Transportation Authority, which oversaw the budgeting of Jackson County state roads, or as I got more and more involved in county government, I was able to become chairman of the retirement fund, and I put the retirement fund in a positive position, and we put the board in a positive position, and we at this time have a Standard & Poor's and Moody's rating of AA, capital A, which is very important for Jackson County.
Mr. Shotwell, what departments in Jackson County do you feel are most concerning, be it budget or other issues? And what do you feel needs to be done to resolve these issues?
As with all difficulties in government, money will cure a lot of problems. But what I've found right now that we have to deal with is public safety. We need to solve a 72-year-old building issue at the sheriff's office. We have to put together and implement a medical emergency system on 911. We also need to work with our partners across the state of Michigan to make sure that our senior health care is properly taken care of and that people are given accessibility through that system. There's a lot of different projects or departments within the county government. Because we're a state component unit, we have to work with the state on those different funding items and making sure that people get what they're supposed to get, whether it be WIC agencies or senior citizen help.
Mr. Mulvihill, what departments in Jackson County do you feel are most concerning, be it budget or other issues, and what do you feel needs to be done to resolve these concerns?
The most immediately pressing thing is, I have to agree with Mr. Shotwell, is the getting the new jail built, getting support for it and making it happen. Both not just for the safety of the prisoners, but also for all the safety of the people that are working there. So that is primary concern, as is the updating of the 911 system. And the jail was built to last 50 years. We're running on 70. So it's far past time that it be replaced and not just rebuilt as it's been tried in the past, but actually replaced. And beyond that, senior healthcare is absolutely important. It is a challenge in Jackson County right now. But again, we need to lean on the experts and the scientists in that field versus making decisions for them.
Mr. Mulvihill, what do you feel are the top 2 concerns facing the whole of Jackson County? And how do you see resolving those issues?
Top 2 concerns of Jackson County. I know, as I mentioned in my opening, one of my primary concerns is trying to increase the paths to home ownership, because I believe that not only will that better a lot of the residents of Jackson County, I also believe that it will better Jackson County as a whole, both on the tax rolls, bringing in additional income tax, trying to get more people into home ownership position in Jackson County is one of the challenges that Jackson County is currently experiencing. Apartments are wonderful, but homes are important as well. Second thing, I guess, would be trying to increase tourism in Jackson County, trying to bring more money in from outside. We certainly want to spend our money locally, but to try to bring in more money into Jackson County, either by bringing additional people in, by showing the value of living in Jackson, or by bringing tourists in to spend their vacation dollars.
Mr. Shotwell, what do you feel are the top 2 concerns facing the whole of Jackson County, and how do you see resolving these issues?
As you know, we've just created an industrial park in Blackman Township, setting aside acreage for new jobs and economic development. The number 1 concern for the County Board of Commissioners for the last 5 years has been economic development, and we've been working towards that result. With that in mind, I'd like someone to think where we're going to put the next set of industrial businesses and buildings. So that's the next number 1 priority, is economic development with a proper road system to be able to handle it. Second is healthy communities. Jackson County right now is in the bottom half of all the counties in Michigan, and we need to step up our game and do a much better job in reaching out and implementing healthcare. And part of that is being able to utilize our park system to a much better result, whether it be our lakes, our streams, or our walking paths, which we have now linked to the east coast of Michigan and are working to link to the west coast.
Mr. Shotwell, what are the top 2 concerns that residents in District 5 have told you that they want you to help them resolve?
Well, I happened to speak to a lady just today about this, and she's still concerned about out-county roads. Once you get outside the urban boundary, with the fact that Spring Arbor, Summit, Blackman, and now Leone is going to be putting together a road package, that we need to get our rural roads put together for safe travel, whether it be utilizing our bikes on them or just driving our cars. Number 2, the other thing that they've shared with me is law enforcement. They really want to see a better and more thorough presence in Summit Township. And they would like to make sure that they have the proper equipment to do their jobs correctly, and that we have worked hard to make sure law enforcement is able to complete its tasks, as well as emergency responders in Jackson County, whether it be fire or ambulance service.
Mr. Mulvihill, what are the top 2 concerns that residents in District 5 have told you that they want you to help them resolve?
While I was out knocking doors in advance of the primary last month, I would have to say concerns were echoed. Definitely a larger police presence is something that the residents are looking for. And also specifically, I heard, it was at least 2 mention the speed limit on Spring Arbor Road not Spring Arbor Road, on Kibbe Road. As you get past Weatherwax, it's still quite residential, but it turns into 55-mile-an-hour zone, and up until, it continues that way all the way out to Reynolds Road. But that's what it amounts to as far as things that are on people's mind that they've spoken up to me about. If you, one last thing, if you'd like to communicate with me further, I have, never mind.
Mr. Mulvihill, public transportation continues to be an issue of concern throughout the county for those who need it for work, shopping, and education. How will you support transportation funding for this county-wide constituency?
I am currently unaware of how the bus system is funded, but public transportation is an absolute need for Jackson County and Michigan as a whole. So I would absolutely support funding if whatever it needs to grow and expand to help our citizenry. I was unaware of problems with the busing system. I see the buses on the road day in and day out. So I know that people in Jackson County avail themselves of the service. So as a result, it's important.
Mr. Shotwell, public transportation continues to be an issue of concern throughout Jackson County for those who need it for work, shopping, and education. How will you support transportation funding for this county-wide constituency?
First, I think some things need to be explained about countywide bus service versus township bus service. Thanks to the Michigan Constitution and the 1963 amendment that empowered townships to be the equal to cities, a bus system then ended up being within only their purview and boundary. While the need for a countywide transportation system could be assisted by the county, that has to be an individual decision. And with that in mind, we have worked hard with Summit Township to provide a bus route down Spring Arbor Road to the doctor's offices that are on Robinson and loop around to Michigan Avenue, and to work with Blackman Township and TAC Manufacturing to provide bus service to them. And the new industrial park where Shimitol is located to the south and where the new is, there'll be a bus stop and a bus route. That's part of the road enhancements that the county is going to be paying for on County Farm Road.
Mr. Shotwell, across the country, boards of many communities are becoming involved with the banning of books in schools and libraries. Please explain your position for or against regarding banning of books, should that subject ever be brought before the county commission.
Well, I'm going to say it right up front. I support our district library system very, very well, and I have worked hard with many different board members that are on it. I do not believe that the banning of books is a solution to anything. What I believe a solution is the light of day. And when you shine the light of day on any problem, you'll be surprised at how quickly the adversaries to those things scamper to the shadows. We need to stand up for our kids. We need to stand up for our libraries and our book systems. And I'll tell you, there are books that I don't particularly care for, but I don't want to read them. But they need to be available for those of divergent opinions are able to review and read. Now, I think our district library system does a very good job currently distributing books, and we have a powerful district system, but it is lacking in certain corners of the county. And I hope the district library can figure out a way to reach those populations.
Mr. Mulvihill, across the country, boards of many communities are becoming involved with the banning of books in schools and libraries. Please explain your position for or against banning of books should that subject ever come before the Jackson County Commission.
Banning of books is never okay. There are, of course, certain books that a teacher would be more likely to, or a librarian would be more likely or less likely to recommend to different age groups, but absolute banning of books is never okay.
Mr. Mulvihill, what do you believe are the top 2 infrastructure concerns in Jackson County, and how do you see resolving them?
What I have heard while paying attention is water, both incoming and outgoing, are the biggest infrastructure challenges. The incoming water and the county commission and Jackson County has been doing, and Jackson City have been doing a wonderful job at scheduling and advancing toward replacing all of the lead pipes for incoming water. There are additional challenges with the sewer system that Summit is working towards resolving presently. I think they just approved a relining of one of their holding tanks. But those are our biggest challenges, and it's a road that we need to keep working on.
Mr. Shotwell, what do you believe are the top 2 infrastructure concerns in Jackson County, and how do you see resolving them?
First, I agree with the water issue. We at this time are wrestling with the Cascades, which takes in, a lot of people don't realize this, City of Jackson, Summit Township, and following the Grand River all the way out to the northwest quadrant of the county. Getting that straightened out, number 1. Number 2, we have an issue, this is just water. We have an issue at our old landfills that we had to inherit from the city and the prison, and we're working on figuring out a way to use a reverse osmosis solar system to clean that water before we return it to the environment. Number 1, and number 2, a way to properly dispose of the stuff that the reverse system brings out. The second thing we need to really work on in Jackson County is redevelopment of our old brownfields. We have opportunities that have presented themselves and examples where we've been able to do it. I think now we have to work on the Michener plating site.
Mr. Shotwell, as a commissioner, how will you support the necessary infrastructure changes and preparation for the future of increased usage of electric vehicle usage? Would you support replacing older county fleet vehicles with electric vehicles?
Number 1, yes, I would support it if it was economically feasible and a functional environment. Currently, the only place that the county can charge its vehicles is at the airport. We've installed a rapid charger and 3 slow chargers out at the airport. And the only other place is downtown in front of the old Woolworth building. There are chargers there. So it would mean an infrastructure enhancement of the different facilities to actually charge the vehicles, and then also being able to purchase the vehicles to save the taxpayers the money that they need to save to make that function. At this time, the county is proposing a complete analysis of all of our buildings to begin saving on electricity through that service. And we're looking at the implementation of solar panels on county properties to begin starting to pay for our electric needs in a more positive way.
Mr. Mulvihill, as a commissioner, how will you support the necessary infrastructure changes in preparation for the future increased use of electric vehicle usage? Would you support replacing older county fleet vehicles with electric vehicles?
I would absolutely support electric vehicles being added to the county fleet. We would need, agreeing with Mr. Shotwell, we would absolutely need to find a dealer that in exchange for the large purchase of multiple vehicles would also include adding some chargers in place. Picking an appropriate location for multiple chargers is also paramount, making sure that the feeds to the building can handle the additional draws, keeping them close to large high amperage sources.
Mr. Shotwell, please take 1 minute to make a closing statement to your potential future constituency.
To all of you out there, the opportunity presents itself to either lead the state of Michigan and Jackson into the next 10 years. We have an opportunity that presents itself in the form of roads and a new strategic plan for Jackson and a strong economy. We need to work together, as I've been doing with the mayor, to make this happen in Jackson County and to be able to partner together. It's a message that we need to carry, and we need to remember that there is not only townships and cities and villages in Jackson County, but there are individuals. We need to respect individual rights going forward, and we need to make sure that others aren't impinging on those rights and that they're getting the proper help that they need to work through all of their difficulties. Thank you.
Mr. Mulvihill, please take 1 minute to make a closing statement to your potential future constituents.
Thank you for your time. Thank you both, Gwen, thank you for your time specifically, and thank you for everyone who has taken the time to watch this series of videos. If you'd like to get to know a little bit more about me, you can communicate with me directly at electnate@gmail.com, or you can learn a little bit more about me on the internet at electnate.com. The Nate is spelled N and then the number 8, so it's electn8.com. I would like to lead Jackson into the future, and I have loved Jackson my entire life. It's a great, great town, and I look forward to supporting it alongside each and every one of you. Thank you again for your time.
This concludes our candidate forum. Again, we are grateful for your participation, and we believe that your intended constituency will be grateful as well. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
The League wishes to thank Mr. Mulvihill, Mr. Shotwell, and Mrs. Tabb for participating in this forum. We hope that you will vote in person on November 8th or contact your clerk's office to obtain an absentee ballot. The League hopes that all Jackson County citizens will vote in this upcoming general election.